All right, what's up, guys? So, Ray, my good friend, why I start the video? I was just all like, why I say it like that? Let me, you know what? No, let me like start this over again. So, okay, just getting into character. All right, what's up, guys? So, my good friend Ray, she has uploaded a video on her hot tea channel called "All the Tea Trisha Paytas Spilled on Gabbie Hanna's Podcast." It's almost 2 a.m. So I think I've said it before, and it's very well known and established that after a certain time of night, I don't speak English so well. I don't know what's up with that. I'm still trying to figure it out. Google so far hasn't helped me. All they've told me is that I'm going to die. Like that's literally anything that you'll Google on Google. So but no, let's go ahead and check this out because I didn't even know. First, I didn't even know Gabbie Hanna had a podcast, and second, I didn't even know Trisha Paytas was on that podcast, and third, I didn't even know that these guys was chill. Because didn't Gabbie Hanna do like some Trisha Paytas song, and I guess it had like had like some beef or some problems between. So I don't know. Let's see what goes down. I thought these guys had problems and stuff. But yeah, let's see. Maybe they cancel all that stuff out, and they're just like, hey, we cool now. So, but anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and check out this video. Soothing intro. Oh yeah, make sure you subscribe to Ray's channel Hot Tea, her personal channel Ray Rahimi, and her business channel Build Your Pocket. But now let's get into the video.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have to talk about our girl Trisha going on Gabbie Hanna's podcast. I never thought this would happen. It's a mess, crazy. So let's talk about it. Also, we have a few things to add to the story from my last video, so stay tuned for that as well. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. Alright, let's get into the tea. So, some of you mentioned in the comments on my last video that a few details were missed, which were kind of important to the situation and shouldn't have been left out. Also, just to clear up, last video wasn't siding with anyone in particular. We touched on a few sensitive topics like sexual assault, inappropriate jokes, and using or manipulating people. A detail that was left out from the last video was that when members of the vlog squad like Seth or Big Nick would ask David Dobrik to take down certain videos that made them uncomfortable, David would refuse and would actually offer to pay them instead of taking down the videos, which is really terrible. Like, you are aware that those videos have made people feel uncomfortable and you just want to shut them up by paying them. Like, that's just ridiculous. Maybe to some it doesn't sound
My thing is, it's like, if I feel uncomfortable about something, all the money in the world won't make me feel comfortable about it. Like, because my thing is to say, you gotta sit down and think about it. If another situation like this happens again, and then you paid me, so yeah, let's say he pays me $10,000 to keep my mouth shut, and then something like this happens again because somebody else thinks that, oh, he's cool with it, and then I gotta explain to them that I'm not, but then I'm like, oh, so now you gotta give me $10,000, and then people are looking at me as the scumbag, and I'm like, no, bro, it's like, just take the video down and don't do stuff like that. But anyways,
serious, but you can't just act like money will fix people's feelings or in some of the cases undo trauma. Seth said that rewatching the videos where he kisses Jason makes him feel unwell, and David apparently unlisted a few videos, but Ela and Ethan said it was really easy to find them. And the second thing to add is that David has technically apologized for the things people accused and exposed him for. He spoke last June on his podcast, but it was very brief and not on his YouTube channel. He pretty much said that he was sorry about his past jokes and behavior and that he realizes he has to be more responsible. He said that he didn't mean to harm people with the things he has said or feel out of place, and ends with, I am a man of my word, I will do better. But that is the only time David has come out to say anything on this entire situation. A lot of people don't even know this.
He's just a one-time person. You know, you'll see where a lot of people, they're all like, oh, okay, when this situation comes out, I gotta do an apology video for this, and I gotta do an apology. So he figure I'll just put it together in one big video. I mean, it's a good idea and things, you know, to just overall address it all, but it's to like name pick and things, because I feel like, I don't know, it seems like when you just address all of it and be like, hey, to everybody out there that I've hurt, I am sorry, but rather than just being like, oh, Big Nick, I'm sorry for saying this, this person, I'm sorry for saying this person, I'm sorry for doing this and things, and And then it's just gonna be like, dang, like I don't know. I guess it sounds like less harmful when you just say to all of the people that I've hurt and things, because when you say that, it could be a little amount of people, it could be a big amount of people. When it's like, hey, this person, this person, then it's like, dang, bro, like how many people did you hurt? But anyways.
This apology is out there.
And then on top of that, he's probably like thinking along the lines, like not trying to defend him, but he comes out with his own individual apology video for this person. David Dobrik just doesn't come off as a person that does apology videos. Like he'll address it in like probably his podcast, but it just seems like his YouTube channels is just for the crazy things that he does, or he's giving out Xboxes, PlayStations, or freaking $10,000 or a brand new car to somebody. So,
and the ones that have seen it still think David needs to do a better apology, especially right now that it has been brought up. So far, he is still being silent and hasn't addressed the whole situation.
There's people that are seriously looking up to me for things more than just something goofy. I want to be a good role model for the people watching, and I'm ashamed and I'm embarrassed about some of the things I did in videos or in vines or whatever I was doing.
Okay, so let's get into the main story for today's video. So Trisha Paytas went to Gabbie Hanna's podcast. Who would have thought that Trisha and Gabbie could sit in the same room and be civilized and talk like mature people? Not me, that's for sure. If you guys don't know, Trisha and Gabbie have had beef over the last few years. It all started in 2019 when Gabbie posted this.
I have a genuine question that I want to ask the general public. If somebody tells you that somebody has an STD, an incurable STD, it comes from a close friend of theirs, a source, and then you find out that a friend of yours is with them, is it wrong of you to say, hey, just so you know, I've heard this, don't know if it's true, but this person told me, talk to them about it, ask about it?
My thing is that, something like that I would want to know. I'm all like, because I'm like, okay, then I need to go get tested and see if I'm in the clear and stuff. But I'm like, that would be kind of scary. I'm like, I ain't trying to, ruin my whole life, fooling around with one person. So I guess it's something where it's like, maybe it should have been like addressed a little bit better. Like maybe if everybody had just sat down and talked on it. Like then because I don't know how it overall went down from what people are saying, or from what Ray said and from what everybody else is saying, that Gabbie went behind Trisha's back. But I was like, maybe if it was like everybody had just sat down and been like, hey, so I heard this about you and stuff, so from this person, I ain't saying it myself. But anyways,
it was a text with that person where she covered the name, but people figured out that it was Trisha, and it all escalated real quick from there. Trisha then made a video on why she doesn't trust Gabbie Hanna, where she basically said that Gabbie told Jason that Trisha had herpes right when they started dating. In that video, Trisha cleared up that she never had herpes, that Gabbie is just spreading this rumor, and she made it to seem like Gabbie was obsessed with Trisha. All of that started a big divide between their fans. On one hand, people sided with Gabbie, saying that she cared for a friend and she wanted to let him know that it wasn't a big deal. On the other hand, though, people were like, why wouldn't you talk to her privately about this? Also, people said both Jason and Trisha are grown adults. They are old enough to know better about their sexual health, and Gabbie had no business in this.
But there's people out there, look, I'm just saying, there's people out there that will keep that stuff bottled up. They won't tell nobody. They still want to live this crazy, wild sex life, having sex with literally everybody that they can and things. And I've heard situations and stories where people have gotten arrested. Like, it's because my thing is, like, it's against the law. And surprisingly, I didn't even know that was a thing, but it's against the law, because you pretty much had like just slowly killed somebody. Like if it's like a crazy like STD, like HIV/AIDS or something, you just slowly killed the person. So it's, something like that. I'm like, I would want to know before, because there's people out there that won't tell you, and then it just kind of leaves people on the edge. And so, I'm like, I would want something like that. I would want to be told about it. And then it's like, of course I'll handle it like an adult. I ain't gonna be all out, oh my God, like this girl got STDs and screaming out to the world and things. But I'll just be all like, hey, like just throwing the, I don't know, like it's something like that. I'm like, I'll just have to wait and see for that day to come. Hopefully the day never will come, and I don't even have to ask nobody no question like that. But anyways,
Gabbie tried to clear things and explain where she was coming from. In this tweet, Gabbie also mentioned that it came from a reliable source, so that's why she was inclined to talk to Jason about it.
Yeah, my thing is, though, I'm like, if it ain't coming from a doctor at a hospital, and I'm like, then, you can't really trust one of your friends, like, oh, your best friend, or, somebody that's close with Trisha Paytas. So I'm like, nah, this better come from a doctor at St. Francis Hospital. Like, I'm saying, like, it better come from an actual legitimate, reliable, like a doctor that has it on a piece of paper that this person tested positive. But if I don't see that, and I'm just going based off of a word, I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, that's something. I'm like, yeah, you can't call like your friend or whoever that person is a reliable source, and obviously it wasn't true. So
drama went on and on and on. It just got worse and more people were dragged into it. Last year, this drama was brought up twice. It got even messier, and as of recent, if you guys remember, we talked in a previous video that Trisha confirmed it was Shane Dawson who said that to Gabbie. It kind of makes sense since at the time Shane was close to Gabbie as well, and when you add the recent drama where Shane has been exposed for being a fake friend, it all just kind of adds up. Trisha denied it at first though. In an episode of Frenemies, she says this:
You don't have herpes.
I don't have herpes, and I would, like, first of all, she wouldn't know. I never was her friend. Then she tried to blame it on, like, Shane telling her that I had herpes, which that's not true, but she tried to blame him because she's crazy.
For the longest time, it seemed like these two people would never go past the drama and just move on, until a few days ago. Gabbie shocked, and I mean shocked, everyone by uploading an episode of her podcast featuring Trisha. To quote Gabbie, the crossover nobody expected. There is a lot to cover here, but let's give a little summary since the episode is an hour and a half long. First of all, Trisha said that she was really surprised to see Gabbie reach out to her. Gabbie opened with expressing that she admires how emotional and open Trisha is online. She said she understood her. Gabbie then mentioned that she doesn't recognize herself in videos from last year and the character or persona that she created online. She continued by saying that she used to watch Trisha all the time, but then she had to stop when all the drama between them happened. Meanwhile, Trisha was the opposite. She started kind of hate watching Gabbie once they had beef, and Trisha said that it was maybe because of her narcissism. Moving on, Gabbie talked about considering quitting social media for good, but she came back for the podcast because other people relied on her being there, but she's glad that she's doing the podcast. And surprisingly, Trisha talked about...
podcast, that's one thing that I can say, that a podcast is like, when you have things on your mind that you overall just want to like get out there and stuff, it can be, soothing. A podcast, I'm just saying, like, there's been at times where I've had to just, talk on certain things and just, I feel better. Like, seriously. Like, so I'm saying, like, it's when you see a lot of people creating a podcast and starting a podcast. I actually forgot to reach out to Ray and tell her that. I was like, there was something that I was like, okay, I gotta remember to do this after I'm done with this video, and straight up forgot. And then, but I know that's why I wanted to tell Ray, like, Ray, when you watch this video, like, I think it would be dope if you were to create a podcast, because I don't know, like, Ray, she just has that character for it. And I don't know, I don't say that too many times, but I'm like, I don't even really go out of my way to listen to a podcast. I think probably I've listened to maybe a few podcasts, like maybe 3-4 episodes of like random podcasts. But Ray, on the other hand, I honestly think like Ray would be that's when I would get into like podcasts. Like, it's crazy how I create one and I'm like out here doing episodes every single day. Dang, I didn't even upload the freaking episode. Dang it, I didn't even upload the episode for it yesterday, and I didn't upload a gaming video either. Man, I'm slacking. But anyways, no, back to the video. But yeah, I think like Ray, I personally think that she would be dope to like, and I'm saying, like, if you ever need help on creating it, name, which platforms, any of that stuff, I'll help you out on that. So, but anyways,
about how she never truly had a breakdown due to the internet. It was always something else in her real life that triggered her, like breakups and mental health or drugs. And just as a side note, a lot of people disagreed in the comments regarding that. People said that Trisha has had plenty of breakdowns and dramas because of the internet, because she puts herself out there. Trisha coming for James Charles or the TikTokers, Charlie Dixie, or her first drama with Ethan from H3 or with Keemstar. Trisha thinks that she may be too hard on people like Jeffree, Gabbie, and others, people who she's had public drama with, but she doesn't regret that she stood up for herself in those moments. Both shared their thoughts on mental health and how certain things in their life have affected them and their interactions and relationships with people. Gabbie opened about people in her family who have mental health issues and continued to explain where her and Trisha may be coming from, how they in the past would process things, but also added that mental health issues are not an excuse to treat people poorly or with disrespect. Trisha went on to say how she was not happy and regretted her last fight with Ethan, where she went off on him, calling Ela the C word, but she didn't regret her beef with Gabbie since that situation really actually bothered her. Trisha didn't hold back and seemed really blunt and straightforward when talking about her and Gabbie's beef, but was calm and collected, really respectful, which is really strange coming from Trisha, but also very impressive. Gabbie did apologize face-to-face to Trisha about the whole herpes thing. She went over again on where she was coming from regarding the situation, but she also mentioned that it was probably because of the source why she felt like it was more secure to talk to Jason about.
I think I was having breakdowns online, and you're like, why don't you want to be my friend? And I was like, this is why. And then you were just like, oh, I'm not sorry. And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I was like,
I didn't say I wasn't sorry. I said sorry. My apology was also followed up with I was looking out for a friend. Just I just wish I hadn't handled it in that way. And I'm sorry.
Like we already mentioned earlier, Trisha shared in her videos about Shane a few weeks ago that it was him telling Gabbie the rumor. Gabbie used him as pronouns. She also said that person at the time was close to her and to Trisha, and the only person that comes to mind is Shane. Around 2015-2016, Gabbie and Shane made a lot of collabs. They hung out a lot, so this makes sense. Gabbie viewed her relationship with Trisha as friends. Trisha, on the other hand, didn't really see them in that way because she stays away from girl friendships, especially with YouTubers. But according to Gabbie, they had a lot of exchanges between each other. Trisha was the one to invite Gabbie to her birthday, as well as Trisha would talk to her about really personal stuff. So in Gabbie's eyes, they were friends. Like we said, Trisha didn't see that at all. In fact, she was like, this hasn't happened. Gabbie was like, I have receipts. It seems like Trisha didn't want to admit that there were more interactions between them. Gabbie shared that Trisha would often text her that she bought clothes because she saw her wear them, or that she tweeted her a lot. It was really awkward to watch that part since Trisha seemed really off and not recalling any of it.
Dang.
You would send me texts about how oh, I bought this shirt because you wore it in your video. I bought this necklace because you wore it in your video.
Oh,
and,
damn. Okay.
You've tweeted before. We were friends.
I thought maybe these are Photoshop tweets, because I definitely never said that.
No, they're still up.
Then Trisha asked Gabbie if there was anything she needed to apologize to her for, since she didn't really remember if there was anything else, but she wanted to make sure there's no stones unturned. Gabbie mentioned Trisha bullying her music and telling her she can't make it because she's 30. She said that what she said got to her, but not the fact that Trisha doesn't like Gabbie's music, but more so the fact that she's saying that there's no chance of her having a music career purely based off of her age, and that Trisha said things that were untrue, like you won't get signed to a label, nobody listens to your music, nobody will work with you, and so on and so forth. Trisha apologized for that, but made her point that younger people can make it, and those comments she made are often made to people in their industry. She added that people say stuff like that to her all the time, and she didn't really think it would hurt Gabbie. Gabbie then shares that for a while, all of the numbers, subscribers, views, and attention on social media was all that she had, and that's why she's so sensitive when people talk about her like that.
In an industry that's already so sexist towards women, men can make it after 30, women can't.
Yeah.
So putting that curse on a woman of
it's not a curse. It's just comments from someone I didn't know.
It's not that it hurt me that that's the reality, because first of all, I know I'm not 30, and also I know that once I'm 30 it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's that another woman would use that as an attack on me. Because I just wish that we could come
social
together.
Media, somebody says something, when a bigger individual says something, then it just shrinkles down. It's just an echo effect. So it's you guys see this, you're at the Grand Canyon and you just screamed out something, that echo is going to be everybody and stuff. But it's it has to be up to the person that's on the other side of it, whether or not it's going to be loud or quiet to you. If you see it as something that's going to be loud, it's going to get to you. But if you see it as something that's going to be quiet, then it ain't even going to phase you. So that's how I see everything. I'm I see it as that whoever is saying it is freaking miles away across the Grand Canyon screaming to the top of their lungs that TMossBoss sucks. TMossBoss isn't going to make it anywhere. He gets no views. His channel is dead. I see it as quietness. I'm like, look, that's why I got noise cancellation headphones. So I'm going to have to listen to that stuff remotely. I find the loudest song I can find, and I just listen to it. And I work on the stuff that I work on. So that's it. Honestly, you just have to, like, treat life. It's like, Gabbie Hanna, it's like you're one of the like biggest names to like pop off from Vine. And so it's like, honestly, yeah, people still listen to you, people still watch you. You just gotta keep going at it. You can't let what somebody else says about you and then think that that defines who you are when you've literally made it from like an app where 7 seconds was like you made a name for yourself in 7 seconds. Like, that's something where it's like, you have to remember that. I think a lot of people forget that did come from those Vine days. But it's like, you have to remember, you made a name for yourself off of 7-second videos. That's something where not too many people can say that. So, especially now with the app being gone. But anyways.
And be like,
I mean,
age doesn't matter.
That's just not the reality of it.
But it can be.
At one point, they talk about drama and T channels and how they feel about them. Trisha thinks it means people care about what you do, and in a way, you're more interesting if drama channels talk about you, but also tries not to engage in drama. Meanwhile, Gabbie talked about how her pay rates and streams were down when she was in drama because people didn't like that she was in drama and her actions were just disliked by the general population. Trisha says that she doesn't have an ego and thinks so little of herself, and that's why she doesn't get hurt, but at the same time she thinks she is extra special. But she also says that she thinks all YouTubers are like that. Towards the end, they had a little bit of a debate or a heated discussion about women in their 30s and becoming famous or popular in the entertainment industry. Gabbie was low-key aggressive about Trisha not thinking the same thing. Trisha basically said that she thinks it's much harder after you hit 30 since the people who can really make you famous in a way are usually younger and they have different interests. She gave an example with TikTokers and why Charlie and Dixie are so popular. She said it was mainly because kids are on that platform and those TikTokers are more relatable to them. Gabbie, on the other hand, said that she thinks it's because of the misogyny that is inflicted about older women in the media. Her argument was that men can become famous at any age and are even praised once they age like fine wine, but women are disposable as soon as they hit 30. Trisha at that point didn't seem like she had a strong opinion on the topic, and it was kind of
I don't know. I'm like, I don't think, I was like, my thing is that I really don't care like what your age is. Like, if you're cool, like, not more so, it's just like, you know, you got like some fame behind your name or whatever. Like, no, you could be freaking 60 years old. If I can vibe with you, like, I'm like, hey, because my thing is like, look, I love having conversations. It wasn't too long ago, I was sitting down having, there's like all these other people there that look like they could have probably been like around my age, maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older. I'm sitting down next to this lady talking about, and she could have probably been like maybe in her 50s, 60s, I don't know. But anyway, she like far past my age. I'm sitting there having a conversation with her, just talking it up. I actually took my headphones down and put them down to like my shoulders or just my like shoulder area, just so I could talk with her. So I'm like, I just think that it's like, you know, if you can vibe with that person, you can vibe with that person. But I think it's just, yeah, I will have to say like, just the different generations are very divided. Like, you got people with, there's people that'll comment on my videos, so like, oh, you millennials don't. I'm like, please don't. I'm not here for no millennial or no Gen Z or none of that other different type. I don't care about the generations and all of that. I'll talk to somebody younger than me. I'll talk to, because the thing is, like, I vibe with people younger than me. Like, the majority of some of my fans that'll be in my Twitch streams will be like, they'll tell me how they're in high school. I vibe with them. I will vibe with a person that's far more older than me and will not think twice about it. All right. So I'm like, as long as I can vibe with you, have a conversation with you, and be chill with you, age I do not care about it. So, and I think that that's just, you know, and it's a person that does think along those lines. It's like, those are the ones that just doesn't need to be in the industry. It's like, so music, acting, YouTube, whatever it is. So
awkward to watch. Final thoughts. It was really shocking and surprising to see those two together.
Yeah.
Talking like mature adults, not gonna lie, since both are known to be drama queens for sure, but it was kind of refreshing to see them in such a civil manner. And it felt good to see them talk face to face. Trisha even said now that they've talked together, it made her feel like Gabbie is a real person, not just some fake persona on the internet. Gabbie seemed much more mature handling these touchy situations as well. Perhaps she really has grown since all the drama, like we haven't talked about her in a few months, which is good. Trisha still seemed a bit nervous every now and then. You can tell that she was disconnecting a few times from the conversation, but given their past drama, it's understandable. Though some people thought Trisha has taken a few steps back from her new woke self and some of her progress is lost, or that's how it seems in the interview. And here are some of the comments that people had to say. I'm kind of disappointed that Trisha didn't apologize too. What Gabbie did was but Trisha didn't do any better. She uploaded multiple videos treating Gabbie like a stalker and a sociopath, and now she doesn't remember? I'm sorry, but it's so obvious Trisha just doesn't care. Like, I can see her trying to be engaged and with the impression that she cares, but she just doesn't. She doesn't like Gabbie, and I can't imagine they'd ever be friends. As much as I think this collab was an interesting idea, they're totally different people and are not on the same wavelength to open up and be vulnerable. True. So Trisha made 2 videos regarding the podcast. She wanted to address a few things on why she may seem cold or putting walls between her and Gabbie. She stated that as far as she knows, both of them are cool with each other. All the drama is squashed. Trisha explained that they shot for hours at Gabbie's. It was the night after the Shane and Jeffree situation. She asked Gabbie multiple times, oh, show me that tweet, or when did I send that? When Gabbie would say things like, you invited me to Thanksgiving, or you showed me your poetry, etc. Trisha said that she could have forgotten about some stuff and maybe they talked more than she remembers, but for these instances, she knows for a fact that they didn't happen. Trisha was trying to be civil and asked Gabbie for proof simply because she couldn't recall these situations that Gabbie was talking about, and later Gabbie said that Trisha was right and some of those didn't happen. Then Trisha expressed that she understands and feels bad if she hurt Gabbie by saying it's hard for people to become instantly famous after a certain age, because Gabbie was pretty heated about this comment. However, Trisha said that that's just her opinion and she can still have it. And another thing that Trisha talked about in her
it's
video,
like, you gotta see it as an opinion. It ain't something that's like an actual fact. Like, you know, I just reacted to a video the other day. These 2 old guys, they was rapping and thing. I don't think it was them, but I'm like, yeah, you'll see where it's like old people, middle-aged people, like people that's over the age of 18, people that is any age whatsoever, you'll see a person go famous doing whatever. So it doesn't really matter, but it's like, at least it's like they're either gonna go viral on YouTube or end up on Ellie DeGeneres. So one of the two. But anyways.
Was that
or
some
TikTok.
parts
So
were
one of the,
cut
out of
out
those
of
3.
the episode, like when Trisha would ask for proof for those situations mentioned earlier. When Trisha asked if Gabbie would repeat the situation with the herpes thing, if she could like go back in time, since Gabbie said at a part that was cut off that if it was her sister, obviously she wouldn't talk about her health to someone else since her sister's an adult and it's none of Gabbie's business. But when Trisha asked Gabbie if she would do that again, Gabbie allegedly said, I don't know, I would have to think about that. And lastly, Trisha said that she hopes she didn't seem like she still dislikes Gabbie. She explained she's just awkward when meeting new people, and these videos she posted were to clear things up and about the way that she acted on the podcast. What are your thoughts on this situation? Were you shocked to see Trisha on Gabbie's podcast?
Yes,
Did you
that
like
is
their
shocking.
Conversation? How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments down below.
You
That was
think
it
something
for
like that would
today's video,
happen?
you guys. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single week. Alright, bye.
I'm like, that's like one of them like boxing or like wrestling matches that it's like, dang, bro, you don't think it's gonna happen until it actually does. So, but anyways, dang, I forgot to do that. Plug up my laptop chargers. Like, laptop's about to go dead. But yeah, I don't know. They possibly could be cool with each other. Maybe not. I don't know. If so, then it's like, all right, that's cool. It's like, I feel like, you know, it could be like a step forward to just like a better like lifestyle with them guys. But anyways, yeah, I do wish them the best in life. If they do more collaboration videos and overall just end up being cool with each other, then that's chill. But other than that, I'm going to end this video. So guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you go subscribe to Ray's channel, Hot Tea, her personal channel, Ray Rahimi, and her business channel, Build Your Pocket. Like, subscribe to me too. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.